You've been faking it every single day. The confidence, the calm, the composure on your face, when everything inside you is on fire. It's a mask. And the people closest to you can see through it, even when you can't. There's a moment coming in this video where you'll recognize yourself so clearly, it might sting a little. But you have to earn it first. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll know exactly which mask you're wearing. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Being 25, 35, 50 years old means nothing if inside you're still reacting like a wounded teenager. Age is not maturity. Maturity is something else, something almost nobody actually teaches you. It's not how many birthdays you've had. It's how you handle the fire when it's lit under you. There are exactly 8 ways to build it, starting with the one most people get catastrophically wrong. Picture 2 people getting the same bad news. One explodes, says something they'll regret in 10 minutes. The other goes quiet. And somehow, within seconds, they're calm again. Same news, same shock, completely different outcome. What separates them isn't willpower. It's a skill, a very specific, learnable skill that almost nobody sits down and actually teaches you. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The calm one isn't suppressing the feeling. They're not swallowing it down and pretending it's fine. They're doing something almost detective-like in the space of a single breath. Before reacting, they ask themselves one quiet question. Not, how do I make this stop? But why am I actually feeling this? That single question, asked before the reaction, is the first pillar. Identify the emotion before it identifies you. Anger is rarely just anger. It's usually fear wearing a louder costume. Sadness is often exhaustion in disguise. When you name the real feeling underneath the obvious one, the grip it has on you loosens almost instantly. This is why some people seem impossible to provoke. They're not colder than you. They're faster at figuring out what's actually happening inside them. But naming the feeling is only step 1 of 8. Now, picture a different moment. Someone makes a mistake at work, a real one, costly and embarrassing. Watch what the emotionally immature person does first. They point. A coworker, the deadline, bad luck, anyone but themselves. Now, watch the other type of person in the exact same situation. They exhale, and they say 4 words most people can't physically bring themselves to say out loud, even to themselves. Those 4 words, I made a mistake. That's it. No excuse tacked onto the end, no deflection dressed up as an explanation. Taking responsibility isn't about self-punishment. It's the fastest route out of the same failure happening twice. People who can't say those 4 words stay stuck at the same wall for years, blaming a slightly different obstacle every single time. This is pillar 2, and it's the one ego fights hardest. Here's something almost nobody admits. When you're spiraling, genuinely spiraling, logic doesn't reach you anymore, no matter how reasonable it is. You need something outside your own head to anchor to instead. The most emotionally steady people you'll ever meet all share one quiet habit that looks almost too simple to matter. In the worst moments, right before acting, they silently ask themselves a single question first. The question is simple. What would this person do right now? Mother Teresa spent her life surrounded by suffering that would break most people within a week. Yet, by nearly every account, she moved through it with a steadiness people still study today. A role model isn't someone you worship from a distance. They're a mirror you hold up in the exact second you're about to make things worse. That's pillar 3 of 8. 3 in the morning. A thought loops. You replay a conversation from 6 years ago, and somehow it still stings like it happened this afternoon. Here's what almost nobody ever tells you about that loop. It survives because it's never once been written down and forced into the light. The moment you drag a thought out of your head and onto a page, something strange and almost immediate happens to it. It shrinks. Psychologists call it cognitive restructuring, but you don't need the term to actually use it. Keep a thought diary. Write the spiraling thought exactly as it sounds in your head, then write it again, honestly this time, stripped of the exaggeration your fear added. Most 3 a.m. catastrophes don't survive being read back in daylight. This is pillar 4, and it costs nothing but 5 minutes and a notebook by your bed. Now, here is a trap almost everyone falls into without noticing. Someone challenges an opinion you hold, and your body reacts before your brain even catches up. Heart rate up, jaw tight, a script of comebacks already loading before they finish their sentence. Emotionally immature people call this defending themselves. It's actually something else, something far more limiting, and it has a name. It's called the persuasion trap, and here's the shield against it. The most mature people in any room aren't the ones who win every argument. They're the ones who can hear an opposing view without their nervous system declaring war on the spot. Being open-minded isn't agreeing with everything you hear. It's staying curious a few extra seconds before judging. That gap, that few extra seconds, is pillar 5. Here's a scene you've lived through in some form. Something happens that you cannot change, no matter how hard you push against it. A diagnosis, a breakup, a body that doesn't work the way it used to. 2 people face the identical, unchangeable fact. One spends years fighting reality itself, exhausted from a war they were never going to win in the first place. The other does something that looks, from the outside, like giving up. It isn't giving up. It's called acceptance, and it's the least discussed superpower in psychology. Mother Teresa worked inside poverty and suffering she could not personally erase, yet by nearly every account, she moved through it with a peace most people never find, even in comfort and safety. Embracing reality, flaws and all, isn't defeat. It's where clarity actually starts to form. That's pillar 6 of 8. Now, the moment almost everyone fails, every single day, without ever noticing they're failing it at all. Something small happens. A rude comment, a slow driver, a text left on read for hours. Within half a second, a reaction is already out of your mouth or moving under your thumbs. Here's what the most composed people on Earth do differently in that exact half second before anything gets said or sent out. They insert a gap, just a breath, sometimes literally counting to 3, between the impulse and the action that follows it. That gap is where every conscious choice you'll ever make actually lives. Without it, you're not choosing your response. Your nervous system is choosing it for you instead. This is pillar 7, and it's arguably the hardest to build because it only works when practiced under real pressure. Last one, and it's the pillar that quietly ties every other pillar on this list together. Notice where your mind goes the second it's left unoccupied, with nothing demanding its attention. For most people, it goes one of 2 places. Backward, replaying a mistake that can't be edited anymore no matter how many times it gets replayed. Or forward, rehearsing a disaster that hasn't happened yet and honestly might never happen at all. almost nobody's mind goes to the one place that actually exists, the present. Right now, this exact second you're hearing this sentence. Mother Teresa is often remembered for a simple idea, that yesterday is already gone, and tomorrow hasn't arrived yet. So all anyone truly has is today. That's not just a poster quote. It's Pillar 8, and it's the quiet thread running through all 7 pillars before it. So here's the real question this whole video was building toward. You now know all 8. Identify the emotion. Take responsibility. Find a mirror to hold up in the hard moments. Write the thought down. Stay open instead of defensive. Accept what can't be changed. Build the gap between impulse and action. Live in the now. Which one of these 8 is the wall you keep hitting, over and over? Say it below.